Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It's Friday night, May 1st, about 9 o'clock p.m. We're not the first to give it to you. We'll probably be the last you to see. Steelers draft recap
Yeah,
coming at you live from the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. Lee, I think we should just get right into it.
I think we
We
should
should
get
just
right
get
into
right
it.
into it. Let's not talk Penguins and let's talk anything else. Let's get right into this draft.
Let's
Let me
get right
pull
into
up
it.
the Athletics recap of the Steelers draft. Of course, with the first pick in the draft, the Steelers selected offensive tackle from Arizona State, Max Ianachor. 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 That's how I think it's pronounced. It's not pronounced like that. Sorry to Max. Sorry to his family. Um, here is his page from the Athletic. He was given a grade of a first to second rounder, the seventh offensive tackle on their board, a fluid athlete for his size, but may need a year of development before he's NFL ready. With the injury to Broderick Jones, with the fact that Broderick, his fifth year has not been, or his fifth year has been declined, is a better way to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um, are you cool with them drafting what looks like maybe a project in the first round at offensive tackle?
I mean, it's much needed. That offensive line for the Steelers is terrible, and we've seen it over the past couple of years. It seemed to has declined. Um, of course, you have a 41-year-old that was back there running around for his life, trying to make some plays and things like that. And I think it's a good move. I think it was a last second move on their part, just by based on how things it went. But
Mhm.
I think it was a good move at the time. Decent move, actually, I should say. Not good, but decent. I do want to make a comment before we move on because because of this first round, real quick, just your thoughts. I know we've all seen the video. Makai Lemon's on the phone with Omar Khan, getting ready to get drafted by the Steelers, and the Eagles trade up with the Cowboys to take him. The Steelers have 12 picks in that draft. We'll get into it later. The Steelers made some trades and things like that. We'll get into it later. But you have the picks, and this is the guy you want. Why not trade up earlier just to get the guy you want? Because you think that he's going to fall short at that point, doesn't mean he's going to be not taken off the board. So, what were your thoughts, really quick, on that whole thing that happened?
Initially, I thought it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
The more I pushed back, went outside on it. Is it wrong for the Steelers to think that the Eagles wouldn't be trading with the Cowboys at that pick?
Yeah, a division rival. Yeah.
Yeah, division rival at that point. And also, if they were going to be trading with the division rival, would they not come to the Steelers first and say, "Hey, we're about to trade this pick. Do you have any interest?" So with those two things on out there, I think it goes to the idea. It does make them foolish for calling guys ahead of time. Maybe that's
Yeah.
something you have to do, but you do get 8 minutes for your pick. I think you can wait till the other picks in before you decide that you're gonna have to call a guy. Because
Yes.
it
Yes.
does lead to little pie in your face, I guess. But
Yeah.
overall, they obviously they were going to take Makai Lemon, but
Mm-hmm.
it seems like they're high on Ihanacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they still got a guy they like, and
Yeah. It was definitely a decent pick for them to get him.
I don't know.
When
I
they
don't know
did.
where I stand on that. On their board, it was a good pick.
Yeah.
Um, I'm little. So first of all, he's never played left tackle. He's only been playing football in general for a few years. He's a
Yeah.
Nigerian
Because
native.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, first played at the JUCO level. It's the first time he ever played
Mm-hmm.
um, any form of football. So you can look at that one way. One way is this guy's got a ton of room for improvement. He's
Mm-hmm.
prototypical, 6'5", good 40 time. I think it was 4.940. Everything about his measurables is great. The question is intangibles. The question is how quick he's going to be able to pick up
Yeah.
the sport. Are they going to move Fatanu back to left tackle? I don't know. This is now 3 out of 4 picks that have been offensive linemen, and it's also a sign that they're giving up on Broderick Jones either through
Yeah.
health or through just level of play.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what concerns me a little more. Is this guy is got all the measurables, but
Hmm.
he's not played left tackle. He's not
Yeah.
played football in general for a long time. He did start 31 to 32 games while at Arizona State, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good to take away if you want to be positive, and there's negatives to take away if you want to be negative with the first pick.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
overall,
Exactly.
I'm not too worried about that thing with Makai Lemon. It happens, and I actually think they went on to grab a pretty good receiver in the second round with Jeremy Bernard. I it says it here, just a good football player with a well-rounded, pro-ready skill
Hmm.
set. I love everything I've seen with him intangible-wise. I think they need a guy like this.
Hmm.
It's been
Yeah.
a while where you just had a solid receiver. No one wants to ever put the name out there, but there's a little Hines Ward in here with
Yeah.
this pick, I think, and that's almost heresy, whatever you want to call it, to bring it up. And trust me, Hines Ward's the first jersey I ever owned. Hines Ward's
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite Steeler of all time.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I can't help but compare it. I just think that
Hmm.
he has some of those intangibles
Yeah.
that I really like to see. And what are your thoughts on Jeremy Bernard?
Yeah, I think this was a great pickup by them. I think this was fantastic. Wide receiver is a key position that we've talked about over the past couple years that they need to improve on with that wide receiver room for this team. And I think this was a great acquisition by them to pick him up. And the fact that he was available in the second round for him to be picked up, I think was phenomenal. Now, could they have gone the, what was it, Omar? It was Omar Johnson.
Cooper.
Omar Cooper, sorry. Could they have gone Omar Cooper, in after Makai Lemon incident? They could have. But I think this was a phenomenal pick by them. A well-rounded guy like this, to pick up and have available in the second round for this team to pick up. And I think that, they need somebody like him. I think for a slot guy, because you have DK and Pittman on the outside. I think you're going to need a slot guy, and I think he's going to be a great fit for this wide receiver room and for this team.
Yeah, we didn't name him in any remarks or anything, but he fits exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
At receiver, like you said, he fits well with Pittman and Metcalf, and
Yeah.
I just maybe I'm going too far into it, but they've drafted great at receiver throughout the last decade and a half, even longer than that, I guess. And he's a guy that just seems like you want on your team. He's willing to do some things. Later on, if we have time, I think I'm going to show some highlights of different guys that we drafted just to give us a little insight into that. But just to lead up on the chats, what's up, guys? What's up, Mr. Toomey?
What's up, Mr. Toomey? How's it going? How you doing? Thank you for watching.
So next up, with 3 third-round picks. The first one was a little bit of a surprise, little local ties, but the Steelers take Drew Aller. He was graded out as a 3rd or 4th round pick. Impressive size and arm strength, but passing instincts need improvement is the little thing on there. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you're a Penn State fan, right?
I am a Penn State fan, yes, but yeah.
A lot of Pittsburgh people know about Drew Aller. Physically, he's got everything you want in a quarterback. Rear size, good deep ball. But it seems like his footwork is the main issue that people are complaining about right now. And there's a reason with all those measurables he has that he fell in the 3rd round.
Yeah, the fact that nobody else had picked him up should be a sign that maybe the Steelers should not have picked him up. I don't know. I mean, he was talented at Penn State. He made a lot of plays. He was not able to help with getting Penn State over the hump and being able to get to a national title and things like that. I don't think this was a good pick, to be honest. Me and you, when we did our mock drafts, I don't think either of us picked him at all, even though he was available at
Nah, we
times.
did not.
I don't think
I
we
might
picked him at
actually.
all.
I may have snuck him into one or two, but I don't think I did.
Yeah. I don't think this was a great pickup. Now, we do have the issue with the quarterback room. This whole thing with Aaron Rodgers is just getting insane. I just think that they
I
just
know
need
it's
to.
not that crazy.
I just think they need to move on. I'm just tired of it.
Uh,
You got Will Howard. If he's going to be your guy, let him be your guy. Of course, they needed to draft the quarterback. I just don't think it was early in the draft yet to get a guy, and I don't, to get a quarterback yet. And I don't think Drew Aller was the guy if they were to decide to get a quarterback.
so I'm a Pitt fan. I'm a very big Penn State hater, but honestly, I don't have any problem with this pick. They needed to grab a quarterback. He's got the intangibles, or not the intangibles, the measurables. He's got the size. He's got the arm. I think if Mike McCarthy thinks he can fix whatever he sees on tape, there's no reason to complain about this pick because they don't have a quarterback set up right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And if he sucks, if Will Howard sucks, they can draft a quarterback next year.
yeah,
So
yeah,
in the first round. Looking at these stats, I mean, he had a good college career.
yeah, yeah,
Last year, obviously, they had so many high hopes. He ends up missing the final 7 games with an ankle injury. But before that, 2 good seasons. And I'm not gonna be the hater that it's easy for me. I have that urge to just say, yeah, he stinks. Maybe it's because I wasn't watching him at Penn State. I kind of can get away with seeing him as a decent player. And who got some other guy. I like Drew here also. I'm not sold on Will Howard, so I have no problem with them bringing in another guy. As the Rodgers, obviously they put in the UFA
yeah,
tag
yeah,
on him, which does not happen often. I think J.K. Dobbins had one a couple years ago. What that really does, all that does really is Aaron Rodgers, if he's going to sign with another team, has to do it before training camp. And if he doesn't, then he can't sign anywhere else but the Steelers. And if he signs the tag, he'll get a little bit of a pay bump, a 10% pay bump. And I don't care what's going on with the Rodgers. At this point, I'm not going to change my mind on that. I don't want to get too annoyed by it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if they go Mason, Will Howard, and Aller, I think Mason Rudolph's the starting quarterback.
Yikes!
One.
Yikes!
If Rodgers comes back, I think Mason Rudolph's not making the team.
Yeah,
Also awkward to have two young guys with no experience
yeah, yep,
back
yep,
up to a 42-year-old quarterback.
yeah, yeah,
That's going to be ridiculous too. So
yeah, yeah,
either way, the quarterback position is you're right. Just call it a mess.
yeah.
But I'm not worried about your boy Aaron Rodgers too much here. But yeah, Drew Aller's third-round pick. They had 2 more third-round picks. The next one is a cornerback out of Alabama. Cornerback out of Georgia, Dalen Everett. Not an immediate starter. That's fine when you're going for the third one, but as traits NFL teams are looking for. Looking at it here, I don't know too much about him, but 3-year starter at Georgia is not something you should sniff at. It's not whatever the. That's something good.
Yeah,
Started
yeah.
Georgia, on the Georgia defense for 3
Yeah.
straight seasons.
Yeah.
Seasons. Outside cornerback. They needed to get some secondary help. They got it with him here.
Yes.
I can't complain about anything I've seen, even if he's not going to be an immediate starter. But I don't think they need an immediate starter, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you still have, I think, Asante Samuel Jr. still on the team. You still have some guys that, they were
Joey
injured, but they
Porter
will be
Jr.
coming back. Yeah, things, players like that. So, I think, secondary is definitely a key position that they need to pick up, especially with the older guys we do have on the team. They're not going to be there forever, and just to be able to get that depth on the roster there for the secondary, it was much needed, and I think this was a good pickup. I think they picked up a guy that was available in the third round, somebody in the secondary, and as a cornerback, and they picked up who they needed to pick up, and I think that this was a great pickup for them.
And I like taking guys from big programs Um, they usually have talent, and especially
Yeah.
Georgia seems to know what they're doing on defense.
Hmm.
Miami, Philadelphia had a stretch where they were just taking everyone they can from Georgia,
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
defense has been solid for a while. So, from a macro level, I like
Yeah.
grabbing guys like this from places like
Hmm.
Georgia.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Finally, in the third round, the last third round pick, they got a guy in the black and gold, Jennings Dunker, an old school power lineman, a Paul Bunyan of the O line, belongs on an NFL field. Um,
Oh,
I think that this is a great pick. I think that he's got a shot to start um, early on in his career, and if you can get that from a third round guy, your fifth pick in the draft, you got to be happy with that.
I think this is their best pickup in the whole draft. This is great. I saw a clip the other day of him, like after he got drafted. I saw a clip that was posted of him running his 40-yard dash during the combine.
But that
And
hair
boy,
was
was
just
that
lost.
hair flowing. Oh my good. It looked great. It looked phenomenal. So I think this is a good pickup. I mean, again, we talked about it. The line is, the offensive line is a position that, this team
Needed some help.
no,
Yeah.
needed some help in for sure. And I think, being able to get two guys in the draft, to help out on the offensive line and things like that, I think this is a great pickup for them. And I think he's going to be a phenomenal player, coming on to the team. And I think he probably will be a starter come August, September season opener.
I heard some stuff about Dunker and Johanna Chor actually played on the same line during a lot of the Senior Bowl practices and
Oh,
things.
wow.
And the thought is that maybe that like piqued the interest of the Steelers to
Hmm.
maybe grab both those guys and like what they saw between the two of them, and that led to the interest they had and ended up getting a draft of both guys. Obviously, you can't control things
Yeah.
to make it happen, but I think
Yeah.
they are probably happy with both those guys on the
And
line.
well, he was from Iowa, right? Isn't that the
Yeah,
team he played for? He's great in the black and
he's
gold
ready.
already.
Yeah,
You
he's
know what
ready
I
for
mean?
the
He's
Steelers.
ready to go. Yeah, yeah. He's ready to go.
So next up on here, Caden Wetjen is a receiver from Iowa also. So they went back to back Iowa guys, and it seems like he's a return man.
Yeah.
And I like the idea if you have 12 picks, although they made some trades and everything like that, and didn't end up with 12 picks. I like the idea of hey, let's get a guy who might have a special team role with us rather than a actual wide receiver grade.
Yeah.
But with the new kickoff, there's going to be you want guys who can get you to the 40 yard. Excuse me. That can get you to the 40-yard line, get you other things. I got
Yeah.
no issue with this pick. What are your thoughts?
No, no issue at all. I mean, we saw last year, and it's been like the past couple of years. We really haven't had like a consistent return man, And I think a guy like this can be a great acquisition to the special teams on our team, and especially with what we saw last year. With there was the little fluke with Caleb Johnson in the back,
Yeah,
returning things like that. I think that a guy like this, somebody that can get you 30, 40 yards on a kickoff return, I think is just, perfect. And I think this was a great pickup for them for special teams.
and you're losing Calvin Johnson,
Yeah.
Calvin Austin.
Calvin Austin. Yeah.
Yeah, with him gone too, it's
Yeah.
definitely a spot they needed to pick up some guy, and I think he will fit the role pretty well. And to shout out, his birthday is March 9th. Some other cool cat has a birthday that same day.
Oh, shout out. Happy birthday.
Next up is a guy who I actually like as a replacement to Connor Hayward for sure. I think will play a similar role with Riley Nowakowski out of Indiana. Obviously, he won a title. Made the Indiana playbook come alive for Dex as a utility H-back. Another guy who has like a niche role that
Hmm.
do you call it niche or niche? What are your thoughts on that?
I usually call it niche, but
You
niche
would.
is cool.
You
I
would.
would.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I like this pickup too. He's a fifth round grade. You get him around that same time frame of the draft. He's
Yeah.
169 overall. As you get back in the draft, I think if you find niche players that can fill a role for your team, it's smart to do. Um, Maybe he'll play like John Kuhn role
Oh,
that was played in Green Bay.
Yeah, I like it. Or what? Mike What's his name? Mike
Mike
Outstop.
Allstat. Come on, don't be
Allstout.
crazy now.
I know. I'm
Don't
kidding.
go
No, but
crazy now.
I'll tell you this. Having a fullback, I don't think it was on any of our draft mocks that we did, with
No, we
picking up
didn't
a
have
fullback like this. But I think this was a great, and I had forgot about Connor Hayward. I think this is a great replacement for him for
Yeah.
sure. And to be able to, when you get in those positions like 4th and 1, 4th and inches, and you need to maybe get a yard or two, maybe he's your guy. I
He's
hope
a
we don't
winner.
see.
And
He's
he's
a
a
winner.
winner.
I hope we don't see that silly little let Aaron Rodgers stand 10 feet back and they're going to do their own little tush push shit. Just fucking hand it to the fullback and let him fucking get the yard. So I think this is a good pickup on the offensive side, to help out with the running game and getting short yardage, things like that.
Yeah, I like I said, I agree. I think it's a good solid pick. Let's go back to the draft, see what we have next here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Gabriel Gabriel Rubio, defensive tackle from Notre Dame. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about Rubio. I'm trying to click on his page. It won't even let me. So he was not ranked by the Beast, Dane Brugler's list of top 300, I believe it was. But a defensive tackle to Rubio, definitely a position they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on Rubio before I jump past him? Sorry, Rubio.
Sorry, Rubio. No, I mean, defensive line is a position that we need. Cameron Hayward's not going to be there forever. He's already year 16, I think, coming up. And or 15, whatever it is. But he's not going to be there forever. And having somebody to be able to stop the gaps up in the middle or stop the running game. I think, is again, it's another pickup that the Steelers need on the defensive side. And I think this definitely helps with the depth that they need on defense.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right on that. Catching up on some of the chats. First, with the quarterback position, somebody wants Batch back. Maybe he can come back. Maybe he's the move at quarterback. If
Charlie
not,
Batch.
maybe he needs to be the head coach. I heard he's always going to be a good coach.
Hey, he's always going to be a Pittsburgh guy in my eyes.
And then we got this was about the return man glitching. Like that guy. And then we go on to Riley, like that guy too. I agree. I like both those picks. I think they had a very strong draft. I know you looked through NFL.com gave them an A- grade, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we got two more picks to discuss. First is the safety Robert Spears Jennings out of Oklahoma. Pull his up. He had a 5th-round grade. They got him in the 6th, 224. Was that the 7th? They might have got him in the 7th.
I think the 7th. Yeah.
Yeah. The fastest safety at the combine has the temperament to be a special team standout. I mean, when you're drafting this late, you want a guy who can help the team out in any way they can.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a guy that can make an impact special teams wise. Oklahoma, great school.
Boomer Sooners.
Boomer Sooner. Shout out JR. You can't really examine a 7th-round pick in a way that you will a 1st-round guy. But overall, 14th ranked safety. Had a 5th-round grade, you get him in the 7th. I think that's probably a good pickup, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And the fact that he was still even around, for us to grab, I think it was great. To still be on the board. And again, we've talked about it. Secondary is a position where we've seen in the past couple of years where it hasn't been the greatest for our defense. Giving up plays over the middle of the field and having a lot of the defense just getting torched by quarterbacks throwing lots of yards against us. And I think again, it adds depth and then be able to help out in the secondary. Hopefully him being with the speed that he has, he can maybe if he's out there starting or whatever's going on, he can maybe be able to break up some plays that are thrown either across the middle or deep or things like that. So I think this was a great pickup by them.
And finally, feel good story end of the draft out of Navy, Pittsburgh's own Eli Heidenreich gets drafted by the Steelers. I'm going to pull up the moment in a second here. Probably one of the coolest moments in the draft for anyone is him becoming a Steeler. Did we just draft Christian McCaffrey in the 7th round of the NFL draft?
I think we did. I really think we did. I think we did. I think this kid's going to be great. I think he's going to, I think he's going to, he has the discipline. He might, be able to just, that might spread throughout this team. That's something that this team needs is discipline. He might be
Uh-huh.
able to, have that type of a magnetic personality to be able to, spread the discipline, responsibility, accountability, things like that with this team to, to be able to get them ahead with things. I think he's going to add a lot to the locker room.
I think you're right. And let's go over to YouTube. Give me your final thoughts on the whole draft as I shift over real quick.
It was the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had a good draft. The fact that they got the fact that they got an A- is kind of shocking to me, but they get some good players. In a bad way.
Yeah, the first round pick, if you're gonna reach on a guy, you want to reach on a guy like that, a guy who has upside for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not happy with a reach like that, but in the end, you're getting a guy who I think has potential.
Yeah.
To be something great. They have potential to be like some. It's a guy who it's either going to be a home run or it's going to be a little bit of a
bust.
Right? But I like the idea of doing it. Let me pull up. We're kind of going backwards here. Let's pull up some highlights of Heidenreich and then go to the announce. Well, just the overall him coming to the stage in Pittsburgh. Let's pull that back up.
Shout out to the Navy.
Shout out to the Navy. I heard they're the best branch.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Here we go.
I got no volume. There's no volume.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I got it on my end. So, well, I'll just go through. We don't need the volume.
Okay.
If the volume's on there, people can hear it. If not, we'll just talk about some highlights. Just the highlights of how he played. We mentioned McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's here doing some things, moving around. He plays around. He was playing all over for Navy in the backfield as a receiver.
Yeah.
Pass catcher. Obviously, we're joking when, at least I am joking when I bring up McCaffrey, but he had similar measurables, similar combine results. But here we go.
I'm not joking about it. He might be the next McCaffrey.
You can see the emotion on his face.
Look at him.
Excitement from the moment.
Hometown kid.
It was cool to see.
Got the terrible towel.
Big crowd coming out. He doesn't have to go to war.
Is that Roger? Yeah, good for him.
He gets to wait 10 years now. I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to immediately go and.
Is that Roger Goodell? I'm surprised he was still there.
Oh, he's the commish, man. You got to stick around for.
I thought he leaves after the first night. I thought he said, "Screw these guys" after the first round.
Goodell's he's probably loving the idea of getting pictures with Heidenreich.
Yeah. He's like, thank God I got a military guy I can take a photo with. Yeah.
Yeah. But I as you see here, I think this is to get this guy in the 7th round. Maybe it'll be nothing, but it's a great story, and I think he can be a pretty decent guy. Anyone else's highlights you want to check out since we're on YouTube here now?
I think you wanted to go over, which I'm kind of curious to see, is Jeremy. What's his last name?
Bernard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one says top receiver in the draft, so hopefully they pull some decent highlights for him.
Yeah, hopefully.
Good hands on him there.
Good hands on the kid.
Nice moves.
Yeah.
You'll see through this. He's a good ball, good carrier, good with the ball in his hands, as they say. There's a couple different plays you see with him where he's breaking tackles, making people miss. I I think this is a good pickup. That
Oh yeah, yeah,
neither of us really mentioned him, but once we got him, I was like, okay, this is the guy I really.
yeah. This is definitely and again, wide receiver. Like I said, we've talked about it multiple times. I think this was definitely a need for this team. To pick up a guy in the draft and be able to help improve that wide receiver room. With divas like DK, who knows how long he'll be there.
Yeah.
Things like that. So.
Let's
But I
go
think
with
this is
Dalen Everett, a guy I don't like. Like I said, I didn't really
yeah.
know too much about, but here's some of his highlights from 2025.
Safety, right? Is this or is this the corner?
Cornerback. He's
Cornerback,
yeah.
corner.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, secondary is a position.
Good size. You can tell right away.
Yes.
He's a
Yeah.
great size.
Yeah.
Getting around the ball, just long guy for sure.
Yeah.
You can look at him there.
Yeah. I think this was a really good pickup by this team.
Good defensive play there. Yeah.
To get a guy like him.
You're not afraid of contact on a big tight end right there.
We like that.
Physicality.
I think these guys felt great to be. They're in Pittsburgh for the draft, and then they get drafted
that's
in the
gonna
city.
be cool
That's
the home
yeah,
run crowd and everything like
yeah.
that. Uh-huh.
Let me ask you, while we're watching this and that, did you like the setup that you saw of what what the city did for the draft?
They break the record, 805
1,000 people.
people. Yeah, breaking the record. I can't write a brain fucking. I don't know numbers, even though I have an engineering degree. Numbers are tough for me.
Yeah, I know it happens.
But yeah, I did like it. How about you?
Yeah, I thought it was a great setup. The lights, how they changed the lights in the city and the stage and the bridges for every team that came up into the draft, and the whole just setup that they had going on was phenomenal. And the fact that they had people were like, oh, there's no way they're gonna have 700,000, and then they have 800,000 people.
Yeah, all the talk with the hotels.
It was just great.
Let's finish it off with some Drew Aller highlights. I think we're going to see a lot of deep balls here, and a guy who's got an impressive arm.
Again, I gotta go off of what you said. I mean, I don't think it's a good pick, but I gotta go off of what you said earlier. If Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy's an offensive guy, he's a quarterback guy. If he sees the potential,
the arm
the arm is phenomenal. Yeah,
these highlights don't show the low lights, the missed short passes and things like that.
Yeah.
These balls are being placed perfectly. I mean, the guy's got a great arm.
Yeah,
and effortless too. Like, did you see that? It's not. Like he doesn't have to work to get the ball 40 yards.
Yeah. It just goes. Yeah. If Mike McCarthy, saw him as a guy that they feel as though they could work with and improve, I will be all for it. I'll love it if he can get him to be the guy that maybe the fans want him to be. So we'll see what happens. There. Great throw.
Our highlights. Catching up on some chats. I really like Eli. He's a slash. I think he's right. He's going to be able to move around. It's just a cool story if he can do it. Gotta love our veterans. Mount Leba, local guy, and then going to Jeremy Bernard. He's on my side too. He does resemble Ward's ability.
Yeah.
Tough guy.
He can do it. He can do it.
It's more Hines Ward, less Chase Claypool. Claypool had a great rookie year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It did fall off after that. But
what were they calling him? Mapletron.
Mapletron.
Yeah.
Remember that?
The
Steelers just keep fucking drafting these receivers now. Keep doing their fucking shit.
Yeah.
That fell through, huh?
Yeah.
Juju kind of fell off a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Claypool just completely fell off.
Yeah.
Juju
Yeah.
ended up having a good career outside of Pittsburgh. Not to the level we were hoping.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a
Yeah.
good career. Antonio
Yeah.
Brown
Oh,
went a little
oh,
crazy. A
poor
little
guy.
nuts.
Hope he's getting the help he needs.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Steelers draft for 2025.
Yeah.
2026. That's 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
2026.
2026.
Shout out
Overall,
Pittsburgh for holding it down.
overall, I
draft.
think they did enough. They filled some needs. Maybe you didn't get exactly who we wanted based off our mocks, but I think they got some players for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. They got some good players for sure. I'm excited to see what these guys can bring to the team.
Yeah, I think you're I'm right there with you. But other than that, Lee, I think we're done for this week.
Penguins lost. I did.
Why are you gonna talk about old shit? Why are you talking about old shit like that for?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe next year. All right.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. I'll see you.
Thank God. They're gonna